Aloha, everyone, and welcome to our Scintillating Showcase and Open Mic Night, part of our
Aloha.
live and virtual series with Intervision Entertainment and myaloha.tv. I'm Ghislaine. I'll be your co-host for the evening. That's Ghislaine, not Ghislaine, as in the alleged sex trafficker. That woman's really bunged things up for me. I mean, imagine growing up with a name like Ghislaine, spending your entire life trying to get people to pronounce it correctly. And after the years, you finally have the majority of people that you know saying it correctly, and bam, this bitch comes along. I mean, it's not her fault. Well, maybe the sex trafficking is. I mean, the way she pronounces her name, it's my fault, really. I wanted my name to be famous, just not like this. She'd seen it coming. No, truly. I've met numerous Ghislaines and Ghislaines, none of which I'm related to, and all randomly and oddly concentrated here in California, which is weird because I don't belong to a secret society of Ghislaines or anything. I mean, that would make more sense because if I asked you the same question, how many Ghislaines have you met? What would your number be? One, including me? Maybe two. And don't count the sex trafficker. You don't actually know her. Let's hope not. Anyway, and I've met more Ghislaines than Karens in my lifetime, which, well, more than I'd like to remember.
At
And
least you're not a John.
well, there you go, Karen. And this is why artists like me secretly believe in God, not because of the miracles themselves, but because of the irony they come with. I mean, I'm spiritual. I pray. I mean, especially when I want to focus my energy toward a goal. I'm sure we were all praying this week. And frankly, it's just science anyway. I mean, you got to have a control group in every experiment. And here's the thing: when you pray, when you focus on that energy, you get exactly what you asked for. And of course, the one thing you didn't consider comes along with it. I prayed that my name would become famous, and I didn't consider the fact that there's more than one established pronunciation of my name. And well, here we are. We have a great show for you tonight. Stormy weather filled with songs and stories fit for the fall season. A quick reminder before we begin, please mute yourself while performances are happening so we don't get any stray sounds wandering in. And just because you're muted doesn't mean you can't give us a little bit of love in the comments section, especially if you're watching the show live. Check out the chat and throw it out. And now I'd like to start things off with a little piano cover of Umbrella by Rihanna. Have my heart, we'll never be words apart. Maybe in magazines, but you'll still be my star. Baby, 'cause in the dark, you can't see shiny cars. But that's when you need me there. With you, I'll always share. Because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took an oath I'm sticking out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we'll still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, fancy things will never come in between. You're part of my entity, here for infinity. When the war has took its part, when the world has dealt its cards, the hand is hard. Together we'll melt your heart, because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took an oath I'm sticking out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we'll still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, You can run into my arms. It's okay, don't be alarmed. There's no distance in between our love. So go and let the rain pour. I'll be all you need and more. Oh, because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took an oath I'm sticking out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we'll still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Oh, baby, it's raining, raining. You can always come here to me. Come here to me. It's pouring rain. Ooh, it's pouring rain. Come here to me. Come here to me.
That was beautiful, Ghislaine. Not Ghislaine.
Thank you so much.
Listen, as a person whose name doesn't really translate to other languages, I can relate because, you know.
There should be many more
less
jokes
satisfying
coming
me.
this way about my name. I don't think it stops there.
No, I certainly don't. No.
Well, while we're here, you must have a bad dad joke.
I mean, it's kind of what I do, so I guess I do.
Bring it.
Yeah, you know, the other day it was so weird. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but here in New York, it was actually raining like ducks and chickens and turkey. Like you've heard of cats and dogs, but this was all the birds. It was really foul weather.
So good. And on that note, we're going to bring our good friend Angus to play. Hello, Angus. Well, let's get you off of mute.
You're muted, my darling.
My dears. Hello. Oh, you're still muted, sweetheart.
Here we go.
I was in the process of sending a text. I'll send it partial because I made mostly my point.
Fair enough.
And let's see, it looks like I'm unmuted. I had a number of stormy weather songs I was considering, and Giselle this morning prompted me to possibly consider the story. Now, the story I had didn't exist 12 hours ago. So it's not performance ready, and it's going to be more of a reading than a performance, but so be it. I chose the worst storm in the history of mankind. The storm documented in Genesis 8. But this is the story you know. The wee dove sat on a branch and listened to several males singing to her. This was her first year to breed, and many males were interested. Eventually, she made her choice. She and her mate snuggled against ilka other as Nick came along. Then panic, terror, a claith slipped o'er them, and they were carried away. When the claith disappeared, they were in a wee cage. Inside, a meikle big structure. The wee dove and her mate, what he panicked about being inside the cave, were it not what was outside of the cage. For there below them on the ground or the floor were cats and foxes and ilka other creatures that could eat them in a single bite. So they liked the cage a wee bit because of that. And then the structure began to rock. It began to groan and roll, as again it were floating on top of the ocean. Ah, the cats and foxes and other creatures on the floor were not happy. They were ill at ease, but people came and calmed them and fed them and gave them courage. Ein day, a carl came, opened the cage and removed the wee dove. He carried her out to the open deck of the ark and extended his hand and let her fly off. Fly, my bonny wee dove, fly away, find land, gin there is any. The wee dove flew out o'er the water, but wherever she went, all she could find was water, and she returned exhausted to the carl, who gently carried her back to the cage and placed her into it. The next day, the carl came again. He took the wee dove, carried her off to the deck of the ark, and let her fly. This time, she made a beeline to something she saw on the horizon, something that gave her hope. And what she found was a tree partially out of the water. She landed and rested for a spell. Then she took a leaf in her beak and flew back to the carl at the ark. The carl rejoiced at the leaf and gently carried the wee dove back to her cage. The next day, the carl came again and released the wee dove into the air. She flew back to where she found the tree and found it on dry land, where waters receding all around. Now, she didn't ken whether to stay or to return to the ark. In the end, she stayed. The next day, her mate found her in the olive tree. They made a nest. They raised a brood of chicks, and life was good again.
That was absolutely lovely.
That was lovely.
And you just showed me that today. You only just wrote it, correct?
It did not exist 12 hours ago.
Amazing, amazing.
But I have been trying to come up with SCA stories from the Bible, but I don't want to do things everybody knows.
I feel you. I feel you. Like I actually am glad that the SCA Bardic world has expanded, because it was mostly filks and a few repetitive songs, and people are actually hitting so much new material. It's hard to find your own niche. I like that. Now,
well, most of my songs are Robert Burns covers, but my stories either have a period source or are period legends, or it comes from things like the Bible.
well, we love that. We love Robert Burns.
And to be very honest, my wife is not happy with one of the early stories I wrote from Genesis, which was, actually it wasn't Genesis, but it was King David's son Amnon's rape of his sister Tamar.
Well, you know, the
Which
Bible
is the
is
biblical
filled with
story
these
you will
rapes
not
and
hear in
all.
Sunday school.
I can understand that. Well, while I have you here, do you have something else for us?
I can, yes.
Excellent. Well, before you perform that, I have a question for you, my dear. We like to always ask the artists a question, and haha, surprise, I'm doing one today, even though I didn't tell any of our troupe that I was doing that. What is your personal, like, favorite story of being in the weather yourself, like stormy weather, or just favorite story from media that maybe you don't tell? What is your favorite story about stormy weather?
The most impressive story, which is a personal experience, is not necessarily a favorite story, although it's a wee bit graphic. My lovely good wife and I were up in the Traverse City region, helping her sister and my brother-in-law move into their new home. And we camped at Interlochen State Park. And for those of you in the performing world, it is right next to the Interlochen School. Now, everything went fine. We went to bed, everything went fine. In the middle of the night, I heard crack. And I got up and looked around and didn't see anything. So I crawled back into bed and somewhat fell asleep. And just as I was getting up in the morning, I started hearing crack again. And so I walked out to the opening of our tent in time to see a monstrous tree fall over, blown over by the wind. We're talking a tree that was probably 18 inches to 2 feet in diameter. It completely blocked the road to our north. So our only escape was the road to the south. We packed up in a record time. And our ground cloth, which didn't fit in our car because we packed so fast, ended up in the trash.
Yes, that sounds about right. Yeah, when you're in the SCA, you learn to pack things up quickly. You know, I have an epic story of similar nature that Ryan and I went through when we were first dating, but I'm going to save that for another time. If you would like to grace us with another performance, we'd love to hear it.
Okay, as I've said many a time, most of my songs are covers of Robert Burns, and this is no different. This is called Blues, The Wind from East to West. It is a short song that every time I sing it reminds me of my late mother, because she did not like to get up in the morning. Called blaws the wind from east to west, the drift is driving sairly and loud and shrills. I hear the blast, I'm sure it's winter fairly. Up in the morning's not for me, up in the morning early, when all the hills are covered with snow, then I'm sure it is winter fairly. The birds that children in the thorn a day, they fared but sparely, and langs the frae into morn, I'm sure it's winter fairly. Up in the morning's not for me, up in the morning early, when all the hills are covered with snow, then I'm sure it is winter fairly.
Oh, thank you, Angus. That was wonderful. Oh my goodness. What a way to start off the show. All right. Well, thank you all for coming again. I'm Sadie, for those who don't know me. I'm a relatively recent addition to the Intervision bunch, but I'm very happy to be here. And we have an amazing show for y'all tonight. And next up is our wonderful, spectacular author extraordinaire, Eli. How are you, my darling?
I'm all right. I'm a bit sleepy, but that's what happens when you're madly trying to write 50,000 words in a single month.
Well, yes, for those who don't know Eli is currently in the middle of National Novel Writing Month, which is every November. And not only are they writing a novel, they are mentoring others who are trying to write novels, which is, I mean, I cannot imagine taking that on at this moment in my life. And I certainly can't imagine taking it on every year.
No, it takes a special kind of madness, and I'm not sure that's quite me anymore, which is why after this year I will be retiring from that particular part of NaNoWriMo life.
I can totally appreciate that.
Absolutely. I will probably still be in the background, but background.
Yeah, give yourself a little break. It's always important to take care of you. Well, do you have a story for us about your favorite weather-related experience, be it stormy or otherwise?
I do, actually. My favorite weather experience is so many moons ago, before I married my husband, Alex, I was in the mountains of Poland with him when I was 19. And we were in the village of Novotark, and which is, how old is it? 200 years?
No, 650 plus.
650 plus, and the name of the village means New Market.
I love that.
But anyway, we were in Novotark, and we were staying with some friends, and we were up in the mountains, and all of a sudden this lightning storm comes rolling through, and we're laying in our bedroom watching the lightning flash, and it's purple and it's blue and it's green and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's beautiful. I want to see a painting of that. That's incredible.
I would like that too.
Yay. All right. And what will you be performing for us this evening, my darling?
I will be performing a song that I wrote last year. It is called At This Time of Year, and it's mostly about Thanksgiving and Christmas, but at the end it talks about stormy weather.
Lovely. Well, please take it away.
All right. And I'm going to be doing this one a cappella because I felt lazy. I didn't want to get out my ukulele. So. At this time of year, in the midst of all this madness, when there's people saying, hey, it's Turkey Day before it's Christmas, I have just a few things that I would like to say. As long as I can get a minute, an hour, or a day. Can anybody hear me? Tell me, is this thing on? There's a lot in the world, maybe it's time for a song. At this time of year, please remember in your gladness that the person sitting next to you, they might be filled with sadness. Please reach out a hand and tell them it will be okay. Today it might be stormy weather, tomorrow a cabaret. Is everybody listening to me? Do you understand? We're all in this together, and we're walking hand in hand. At this time of year, I remember my past sorrow, and I'm grateful for the people that I'm talking to tomorrow. Each of them is a hand that I'm reaching out to hold. They all give me courage when I'm not feeling that bold. Happy Thanksgiving then, and Merry Christmas too. Stormy weather's coming, but together we'll get through.
Oh, my heart.
Wow, that was lovely. Thank you so much, Eli. I feel
You are
ready
so
for the
welcome.
season.
Yay!
Hey. Well, I have the great pleasure of welcoming a dear friend and performer, Mr. Matthias Hawkinson. Come on up. You're the next contestant on the Intervision Entertainment is right. I'm just making dumb shit up now. Anyway,
You're in the hot seat. Join us, please. Come
Yeah.
on down,
come on
etc.
down. There he is. All
There
right.
he is.
How are you this evening, Matthias? Oh, you'll have to get off of mute, my dear. There you are.
There we go. Thank you. Just getting everything in tune, getting ready.
So how and your night's going well?
Yeah, so far can't complain.
And the
Had a
question,
lovely dinner, so we're all ready to go.
excellent. What is your favorite story about stormy weather, either personal or in media?
Making love in bad weather on the North Atlantic is always nice.
I think that's going to get a lot of people's votes. Yes.
Um.
Nice. You don't have to go into details, but if you do, we
Oh
can change the
darn.
rating.
Uh, it was a sweet redhead lass, 11 years my junior. So that's yeah.
Oh, chicka wow wow.
I was with her for a good 6, 7 years, and that was the begin. That was around the beginning of the best relationship of my life. So that was some fond memories there.
Yeah, I can I can almost feel the rain and the awesome sexiness and really the romance, because if it leads to something greater, it's even more dynamic.
She
you
was
know?
on the way back from a PhD like convention-y thing in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah, and then she got off. She got on a boat, actually in out of England, and I met her around coming out of Norway. I met her around the Orkney Isles, uh, on the way out from because I was in Norway at that time,
Of
and
course you were.
so I was like, "Hey, I can hop on the boat here," and she's like, "You can't get a ferry from here to here." I'm like, "I can get a ferry from there to there. I know who to talk to get a ferry from here to there. I can make it happen." So
That is a beautiful story.
if they have to dump me off the boat and I swim the last to shore, I'll do that.
Aww. Well, on that note, I'm going to let you take it away and share what you're performing tonight.
Thank you. I'm gonna be doing a couple of original pieces here. The first one is in a posh tune style. Um, this is like a calm before the storm kind of a piece here.
Wow. That was absolutely lovely. What was the name of that again?
That piece is yet to be titled.
Okay, fair enough.
It's far more difficult to title my pieces than to compose them oftentimes. Unless some immediate phrase or word comes to mind, things go for weeks or months or years without a real proper title. So
Truth. And after reading a lot of movie scripts and television scripts that are still in the making, like they're not the final edit, you learn a lot about the weird names they're given before they actually go up as a show. So
some of them should stick with their working titles.
I would agree.
I mean,
would
the
agree.
working title when they were working on the Hellraiser script, it was, what is it? Bondage Demons from Outer Space, or S&M Demons from Outer Space or something.
Oh my gosh,
like-
that's fantastic.
Just stick with that, you guys.
The rhythm is gonna get you. The original lyrics were the boogeyman is gonna get you. There's one for you. Matthias, do you have another lovely song for us tonight?
Sure.
Excellent. And what instrument shall you be playing it on?
This will be on the hammer dulcimer here.
Yay. I might have a complete bias and love of that instrument.
Oh no, it's gorgeous.
Thank you. This will be another original. This will be in a 13th and 14th century style of music. Some of the early polyphony. This is Vox Memoriae, the voice of memory. And it kind of builds to a climax that I think is evocative of the stormy theme.
Oh, thank you, Matthias. That was so beautiful. It's always such a pleasure to hear your compositions. They evoke such vivid imagery and emotions for me, and I just love it. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, next up, I believe we have our amazing, wonderful friend and producer Ryan on
Hello.
deck. Hello, friend. How you doing?
I am doing amazing. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Can't complain. I'm curious. What is your favorite story or experience involving stormy weather or other weather?
My favorite experience, well, there's been a lot of them, but I think actually my favorite, I was flying back from Hawaii. It was we were moving back, and I think it was '05 around there. And it was my last trip away from.
Sorry.
Oh, I totally use aught. I think we should.
I know you're 150 and at heart, and I love you for it. Please
No,
go
thank
on.
Anyway, it's starting to rain a little bit as we take off, and it's getting heavier as we get in the air. And it's the only time I've seen the seatbelt sign never go off, and the flight attendants just stayed strapped in. They did not even get up and move around. And we get that we get that from the captain as we're maybe an hour into this 4-hour flight and we're shaking a little bit that we're going to hit some worse turbulence. And at this point, I have to make a decision. I can either be scared or say, fuck it, this is the world's biggest roller coaster, and I'm going to go out happy. and yeah, we were blown everywhere. We were getting blown sideways. I think at one point we did like I talked to the crew afterwards. I guess it was like almost a 3,000 foot just drop.
Oh no.
See,
I wish my brain had the switch to flip to make it so that it's fun instead of terrifying. I don't think I have that.
well, that's the thing. The people around me were kind of looking at it the same way. It's like, like I was a little bit crazy, but what the hell? What else?
No, do what you gotta do when you're, yeah. Desperate times. All right.
Yes.
Well, what are you going to be performing for us this evening, my dear?
I think we're just going to we're going to kind of continue on with that theme, and it's true. I have been ill, very ill. But why do you say that? That I've lost control of my mind? Why do you say that I'm mad? Can't you see that I have full control of my mind? Is it not clear that I'm not mad? Indeed. The illness has only made my mind, my feelings, my senses stronger, more powerful. My hearing especially became more powerful. I could hear sounds that I'd never heard before. I heard sounds from heaven. I heard sounds from hell. Now listen, I don't tell you how it happened. I will tell you, and you will hear how healthy my mind is. It's impossible to say when the idea first entered my head. There was no reason for what I did. I didn't hate the old man. I even loved him. He never hurt me, and I didn't want his money. I think it was the eye. His eye was like the eye of a vulture, like the eye of one of those terrible birds that watch and wait while an animal dies and then fall upon the body and tear it to pieces to eat it. When the old man looked at me with his vulture eye, a cold feeling went up and down my back, and even my blood became cold. And so finally I decided I had to kill the old man and close that eye forever. So do you think I'm mad? A madman cannot plan. And you should have seen me during all the week. I was friendly to the old man as I could be. I was warm and loving. Every night at 12 o'clock, I slowly opened his door. And when the door was open wide enough, I put my hand in, and then my head. And in my hand, I held a light covered with a cloth so that no light showed. And I stood there quietly. Then carefully, I lifted the cloth just a little, just so a thin, single line of small light fell across that eye. For 7 nights, I did this. 7 long nights, every night at midnight. And always the eye was closed, so it was impossible for me to do the work. For it was not the old man I felt I had to kill. It was the eye, his evil eye. And every morning I went into his room with a warm, friendly voice. I'd ask him how he slept. And he could not guess that for every night, just as at 12, I looked in on him as he slept. The eighth night, I was even more than usually careful when I opened the door. The hands of the clock moved more quickly than my hands did. Never before had I felt so strongly in my own power, and now I was sure of my success. The old man was lying there, not dreaming that I was at his door. Suddenly he moved in his bed. Now, you might think I became afraid, but no. The darkness in his room was thick and black, and I knew he could not see the opening of the door. I continued to push that door slowly, softly. I put my head in. I put in my hand, which was covered with the covered light. And suddenly the old man sat up in the bed and cried out, "Who's there?" I stood quite still. For a whole hour, I did not move, nor did I hear him lie down again in his bed. He just sat there listening. And then I heard a sound. A low cry of fear escaped from the old man. Now I knew that he was sitting in his bed filled with fear, and I knew that he knew that I was there. He didn't see me there. He could not hear me there. He felt me there, and he knew that death was standing there. Slowly, little by little, I lifted the cloth until a small light escaped from under it to fall upon that vulture eye. It was open, wide open, and my anger increased as it looked straight at me. I could not see the old man's face, only that eye, that hard blue eye, and the blood in my body became like ice. And have I not told you that my hearing had become unusually strong? Now I could hear a quick, low, soft sound, like the sound of a clock heard through a wall. It was the beating of the old man's heart. I tried to stand quietly, but the sound grew louder. The old man's fear must have been great indeed. And as the sound grew louder, my anger became greater and more painful. But then it was more than anger. In the quiet night, in the dark silence of my bedroom, my anger became fear, for the heart was beating so loudly that I was sure that one must hear. The time had come. I rushed into the room and cried, "Die! Die!" The old man gave a loud cry of fear as I fell upon him and held the bed covers tightly over his head. Still, his heart was beating, but I smiled as I felt that success was near. For many minutes, that heart continued to beat, but at last the beating stopped. The old man was dead. I took away the bed covers and held my hair over his heart. There was no sound. Yes, he was dead. Dead as a stone. His eye would trouble me no more. So am I mad, you say? You should have seen how carefully I put the body where no one could find it. First, I cut off the head, and then the arms and the legs, and I was careful not to let a single drop of blood fall on the floor. I pulled up 3 of the boards that formed the floor and put the pieces of the body there. And then I put the boards down again, carefully, so carefully that no human eye could see that they had been moved. As I finished this work, I heard that someone was at the door. Now, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. It was stormy and still dark. I had no fear, however, and as I went down to open the door. 3 men were at the door, 3 officers of the police. One of the neighbors had heard the old man's cry and had called the police, and these 3 had come to ask questions and search the house. I asked the policeman to come in. The cry, I said, was my own in a dream. The old man, I said, was away. He had gone to visit a friend in the country. And I took them through the whole house, telling them to search it all and to search it well. I led them finally to the old man's bedroom. And as if playing a game with them, I asked them to sit down and talk for a while. My easy, quiet manner made the policeman believe my story. And so they sat talking to me in a friendly way. But although I answered them in the same way, I wished that they would go. My head hurt, and there was a strange sound in my ear, and I talked more and faster, and the sound became clearer, and they sat and they talked. And suddenly I knew the sound was not in my ears and not just inside my head. At that moment, I must have been quite pale. I talked still faster and louder, and the sound too became louder. It was a quick, low, soft sound, like the sound of a clock heard through a wall, a sound I knew well. Louder it became, and louder. Why did the men not go? Louder, louder. I stood up and walked quickly walked quickly around the room. I pushed my chair back across the floor to make more noise and to cover that terrible sound. I talked even louder, and still the men sat and talked and smiled. Was it possible they could not hear? No, they heard. I was certain of it. They knew, and now they were playing a game with me. I was suffering more than I could bear from their smiles and from that sound. Louder, louder, louder. Suddenly I could bear it no longer. I pointed at the boards and cried, yes, I killed him. Pull up the boards and you shall see. I killed him. But why does his heart not stop beating? Why does it not stop? Which was arguably a much worse experience than I went through on that plane. And that was The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. Speaking of stormy weather, baby, Ghislaine, what is your favorite stormy weather story?
Wow. Well, what an interesting place to come in. Honestly, it's actually similar to Matthias. The first few times that Ryan and I ever had a kiss that was a milestone, they were all in the rain. So our very first kiss, our first kiss after we said we loved each other, and our first kiss after we got engaged. And so I always kind of have thought like that kissing in the rain is some sort of, I don't know, omen, positive, like sign. So it's true. I love you.
I love you too. That was very sweet. And do you have anything else for us?
I do. I have a song. So I'm going to see how well this works out. I am trying something new with the YouTube. That's always fun. Okay. And technical moments. All right, let's see how this goes. And this is another fun acoustic. Nope. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a memory, falling on my head like a new emotion. I want to walk in the open wind. I want to talk like lovers do. I want to dive into your ocean. Is it raining with you? So baby, talk to me like lovers do. Walk with me like lovers do. Talk to me like lovers do. Here comes the rain again, raining in my head like a tragedy, tearing me apart like a new emotion. Ooh, I want to breathe in the open wind. I want to kiss like lovers do. I want to dive into your ocean. Is it raining with you? So baby, talk to me like lovers do. Walk with me like lovers do. Talk to me like lovers do. Comes the rain again, falling on my head like a memory, falling on my head like a new emotion. All right.
Damn, Ghislaine, making me feel things.
I do that. It's a thing. It's an
It
artist
is.
thing. All of us here give the feels, eh?
I told you I can't eat this many onions. Why do you keep slicing them?
I'm sorry. It's been an emotional week, so now I
Oh.
sing songs.
Okay, all right. Okay, I suppose I can handle that.
You
But
can
you
handle
gotta
that.
follow it up with something cute. So tell me you've got a cute.
I
thing.
don't leave anything on a sad note. No. So you are
Hell yeah.
correct. Hold on though. Now it goes to my lyrics. That's not it. There we go.
All
right.
Hello, Vashi.
By Edgar Allan Poe. The happiest day, the happiest hour, my seared and blighted heart hath known. The highest hope of pride and power, I feel hath flown. Of power, said I? Yes, such a ween, but they have vanished long, alas. The visions of my youth have been, but let them pass. And pride, what have I now with thee? Another brow may even inherit the venom thou hast poured on me. Be still, my spirit. The happiest day, the happiest hour, mine eyes shall see, have ever seen, the brightest glance of pride and power, I feel, have been. But were that hope of pride and power now offered with the pain, even then I felt at that brightest hour I would not live again. For on its wing was dark alloy, and as it fluttered fell, an essence powerful to destroy a soul that knew it well.
Ugh, are you kidding me?
So I lied.
That face, but that face. Ugh.
Right? I mean, how can you not love a cat doing Edgar Allan Poe?
You can't. You can't. Is
Right?
the answer. Physically, emotionally impossible.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, let me do my shtick here. For more pet poetry, visit our YouTube channel at myaloha.tv, where you can not only find pet poetry and recordings of this open mic night, which I will have to post because I'm so behind, but you can also find everything else we do, including McGarfield, Popular Person Problems, and Scintillating Stories, a story time for grown-ups. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the vision. Speaking of sharing, do you have a cute pet who you think should be a YouTube star? Please submit a video to producer Ryan at myaloha.tv. Likewise, if you're an author and would like to submit a poem for pet poetry or a full script for Scintillating Stories, please send them to me, Ghislaine at myaloha.tv. Email addresses can be found spelled out in the chat. All right, Sadie, would you like to introduce the next guest?
I would love to.
You love
Oh,
him. He's an
no.
East Coaster like you.
OMG, I know who it is. I wasn't sure for a second. Now I know. This person, I've just been dragging him to everything that I do because I love him. He was my first quarantine friend, as I call them, because I have made a shocking number of friends in this quarantine. And Denny, you were the first one, and I love you to pieces. How are you, my darling?
I love you. And sometimes she drags me in drag. It's amazing.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm also in drag. Do you want to tell us a little story about weather that you love or that is remarkable?
So I had a very memorable experience in New Orleans in the middle of a hurricane. The bars were open, it was raining into the bars, and the bartenders just kept serving us drinks, and it was lovely and delightful, and I will never forget how magical it was.
And now I have to ask the very obvious question. Did you drink hurricanes in the hurricane?
Obvi.
Of course you did. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only way. All right, my darling. Well, I'm going to let you tell us what you're doing and take it away. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, so stormy weather, other than the obvious connotation of weather, can also be used to describe relationships and when they hit the skids or the rocks, or, you know, sometimes it's a rough patch and you hope that that stormy weather is going to blow over. I much to Ghislaine's story earlier, you have to be careful what you ask for, because I asked for someone who was really into me and liked me and had a good job, and I didn't really specify that it was supposed to be an actual relationship. So for 2 years, I had this sort of like on again, because we were never really off, but we were never really together situation going on. And he couldn't commit because his life was a wreck. And I sort of feel like Ms. Stephanie Nix really gets me on this, better known as Stevie. So here's the first selection here. Now here you go again, you say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drags you mad in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you lost. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You will know. Now here I go again, I see the crystal vision. I keep my visions to myself. It's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams. Have you any dreams you'd like to sell? Dreams of loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had. Ooh, what you've lost. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. Ooh, thunder only happens when when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You will know. Oh, oh, you'll know. You will know.
Wow. That was awesome, Denny.
Thank you.
Be still my heart.
One of the things we just said was that, or I said it, but I think everyone agreed. Like, your voice is so soothing, like Stevie Nicks, and you're singing terrible things, and I feel so soothed. Like,
I mean, if you
you
can't
know,
make the terrible things amazing, then what's the point?
it's true. What else do you have for us for tonight, love?
So, with the election and the results, we've got a lot of work ahead of us going forward. And I'm going to skip the political, but I am going to say that there's been a lot of ugly. And people who are now just like, oh, let's just move forward. And it's like, no, we've got to process because there's a lot to work on, and we can't just skip over things or gloss over them or pave over them and pretend they're not there. We need to go back and figure out how to fix hearts and how to mend them and how to make sure that voices are heard.
That is the most beautiful thing I've heard all week.
Aww.
Denny for president. Anyway, moving on.
So I found this little ditty originally by oh my stars, I'm blanking. No, Randy Newman. Yes, Randy Newman. And it was covered by Bette Midler, and that is my favorite version. So we're gonna do us a little bit up in the house here. Broken windows and empty hallways, a pale lit moon in a sky streaked with gray. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. Scarecrows dressed in the latest styles, the frozen smiles to chase love away. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. Lonely, tin can at my feet. I think I'd kick it down the street. That's the way to treat a friend. Right before me, the signs implore me, help the needy and show them the way. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. Lonely, so lonely. tin can at my feet. Think I'll kick it down the street. That's the way to treat a friend. Right before me, the signs implore me. Help the needy and show them the way. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today.
Oh,
I swoon.
I swoon.
I swoon.
We all have like emotional voice after that. Thank you so
know.
much for that, Daddy.
Is it wrong that I'm like, I'm so glad I went before you? Mwah.
Seriously.
Because now I cry.
Oh,
But it's
Oh,
a
that
good
was
cry.
beautiful.
Thank you, Denny. I love you.
thank you. I love you.
Absolutely. Love you, Danny.
So, Sadie, do you know what we do every other week when we're not having a showcase?
I think I do, but do you want to tell me?
We do Scintillating Stories Live.
OMG, what is Scintillating Stories Live?
Well, we take scripts and stories from different authors from all over the world, mostly California, but whoever submits, and if we like them, we scintillate them, which means we make them good for radio play. In fact, I believe you've starred in more than 1 or 2 or 7.
Oh, why, I believe I have. I may have even written one of them. What was that about?
Must have. Well, we are currently looking for more scripts. And I don't know why this voice is happening, but I'm sticking with it.
I like it. It feels appropriate for radio.
It is. And I draw a little bit upon an English actor, but I'd have to go full on like this to be him.
And now we're going Churchill. In any event,
but what
if you are a writer and you are a writer of stories, they don't have to be scripts. They can just be stories. They can be narratives. We do a lot of transitioning of works of fiction into scripts, and we have a lot of fun with those pieces.
Yes, we do. And we are looking for more scripts as we're heading into the holidays. We're starting to run a little low in the library, and we would like to get more scripts. And we'd like to feature you. So please submit those scripts to Ghislaine at myaloha.tv. That is Ghislaine at myaloha.tv. All right. Thank you, Sadie, for that fabulous thing. I'm going to go now.
Oh, all right then. I suppose I'll introduce our next artist then. This voice is new. I don't know where I'm going. Well, next up we have the third of our trio. We like to call ourselves the Opera Diva Club because we were all crazy enough to want to be opera singers at some point or another in our lives. And this is lovely, lovely Chrissy joining us. Hello, Chrissy.
Hello.
Hi, do you have a story for us about weather of some sort?
Sure. I'm going to go with the fact that it is about weather because it was on a list that Ghislaine had sent me earlier today because I have been busy.
I believe Sadie's referring to the question first.
Sorry, I meant the artist question, a personal story about weather.
I forgot about the story. So
quite all right, darling. No, I should have been clearer.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, actually, my undergrad, when I was studying opera, my undergrad institution was in Wisconsin, and I had stayed for summer school 1 year. And if you're unfamiliar with weather in Wisconsin, it goes from freezing to extremely hot and hurricanes, or tornadoes, not hurricanes, tornadoes, because it's landlocked. So I remember one night in summer school, it was like week 2 or whatever. It was like, it had just been like 60 degrees during the day, and then all of a sudden it shot up to 90 because we're summer school now, this is May, that's what's going to happen. And then the next week there were tornadoes, and I remember standing at the door of our dorm with the door open, watching the sky turn green and then purple, and the rain was pouring towards us. So it's like the front half of us were soaking wet and the back half was completely dry. And it was funny, but we were just so fascinated by the sky. And the dorm soups are like, what are you doing? Go to the basement.
Yeah.
Like, we're fine.
Having lived in New York my whole life, I've seen the sky like a weird shade of green a few times, and it's always like, what's that?
What's
unsettling?
Yeah, it was fun and it was hilarious. And
all right, my darling. Well, I'm gonna let you take it away with your lovely, beautiful performance, for which I'm very excited.
All right, I'm gonna do the reading first because I still have the languages fresh in my brain.
Wonderful. Yeah, follow your heart. Can't wait.
This is by T.S. Eliot, and it is The Wasteland Part 5, What the Thunder Said. After the torchlight red on sweaty faces, after the frosty silence in the gardens, after the agony in stony places, the shouting and the crying, prison and palace and reverberation of thunder of spring over distant mountains, he who was living is now dead. We who were living are now dying with a little patience. Here is no water, rock and no water, and the sandy road, the road winding among the mountains, which are mountains of rock without water. If there were water, we should stop and drink amongst the rock. One can stop or think. Sweat is dry and feet are in the sand. If there were only water amongst the rock, dead mountain, mouth of carious teeth that cannot spit. Here one can neither stand nor lie nor sit. There is not even silence in the mountains, but dry, sterile thunder without rain. There is not even solitude in the mountains, but red, sullen faces that sneer and snarl from doors of mud-cracked houses. If there were water and no rock, if there were rock and also water, and water, a spring, a pool among the rock, if there were the sound of water only, not the cicada and dry grass singing, but sound of water over a rock, where the hermit thrush sings in the pine trees, drip, drop, drip, drop, 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 drop. But there is no water. Who is the third who walks always beside you? When I count, there are only you and I together, but when I look ahead, up the white road, there is always another one walking beside you, gliding, wrapped in a brown mantle, hooded. I do not know whether a man or a woman, but who is that on the other side of you? What is that sound high in the air, murmur of maternal lamentation? Who are those hooded hordes swarming over the endless plains, stumbling in cracked earth, ringed by the flat horizon only? What is this city over the mountains? Cracks and reforms and bursts in the violet air, falling towers. Jerusalem? Athens? Alexandria? Vienna? London? Unreal. A woman drew her long black hair out tight, fiddled whisper music on those strings, and bats with baby faces in the violet light whistled and beat their wings and crawled head downward, down a blackened wall, and upside down in air were towers, tolling reminiscent bells that kept the hours, and voices singing out of empty cisterns and exhausted wells. In this decayed hole among the mountains, in the faint moonlight, the grass is singing over the tumbled graves. About the chapel, there is an empty chapel, only the wind's home. It has no windows, and the door swings. Dry bones can harm no one. Only a cock stood on the roof tree. Cocorico, cocorico, in a flash of lightning, then the damp gust bringing rain. Ganga was sunken, and the limp leaves waited for rain, while the black clouds gathered far distant over Himavant, and the jungle crouched, humped in silence. Then spoke thunder. Da! Data. What have we given? My friend, blood shaking my heart, the awful daring of a moment's surrender, which an age of prudence can never retract. By this, and this only, we have existed, which is not to be found in our obituaries or in memories draped by the beneficent spider or under seals broken by the lean solicitor in our empty rooms. Da! Diadavim. I have heard the key turned in the door once, and turn once only. We think of the key, each in his prison thinking of the key. Each confirms a prison, only at nightfall. Ethereal rumors revive for a broken Coriolanus. Da! Damiata. The boat responded gaily to the hand expert with sail and oar. The sea was calm. Your heart would have responded gaily when invited, beating obedient to controlling hands. I sat upon the shore fishing. With the arid plain behind me, shall I at least set my lands in order? London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Poi s'ascose nel fuoco che glifia fina, quando fiamme su Chalidon, O swallow, swallow, la prince de Aquitaine, la tour abolie. These fragments I have shored against my ruins. Why then, il fiu? Hieronymus mad again. Data, Dayadavam, Damayata. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Oh, wow. That was so cool. I love the way you tell stories. You really, Joel was saying so melodious, and I couldn't agree more. You have such a, you talk like a singer, which is one of the reasons we love to hear you tell stories and sing. And did you have something else for us this evening?
Yes, I'm going to sing a song.
Yay!
That has to do with, well, most of you probably already heard it anyway, because it was from Thursday night, but it's, I can liken this to the tumult of life and coming out at the very end of it happier. So it's my favorite Kesha song.
Yay.
I used to live in the darkness, dressed in black, act so heartless, but now I see that colors are everything. Got kaleidoscopes in my hairdo, got back the stars in my eyes too. Yeah, now I see the magic inside of me. Yeah, maybe my head's fucked up, but I'm falling right back in love with being alive, dreaming in lights. This kitty cat lost her mind, been looking for a star since sign that I'll be all right. Look to the skies. I found a rainbow, baby, trust me, I know. Life is scary, but just put those colors on, girl. Come and play along with me tonight. I'd forgot how to daydream, so consumed with the wrong things, but in the dark I realized this life is short, and deep down I'm still a child. Playful eyes wide and wild, I can't lose hope. What's left of my heart still made of gold, and I know that I'm still fucked up, but aren't we all, my love, darling? Our scars make us who we are. So when the winds are howling strong and you think you can't go on, hold tight, sweetheart. You'll find a rainbow, rainbow, baby, trust me, I know. Life is scary, but just put those colors on, girl. Come and play along with me tonight. You gotta learn to let go. Put the past behind you, trust me, I know. The ghosts will try to find you, but just put those colors on, girl. Come and paint the world with me tonight. Night, 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 night. Ooh, ah, 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 ooh, I found a rainbow, rainbow, baby, trust me, I know. Life is scary, but just put those colors on, girl. You gotta learn to let go. Put the past behind you, trust me, I know. The ghosts will try to find you, but just put those colors on, girl. Come and paint the world with me tonight. Oh, put those colors on, girl. Come and paint the world with me tonight. Ooh, ah, ah. Come and paint the world with me tonight.
Woo! Wow, that was amazing. Ah. Excuse me. Well, just coughing up things now. Well, thank you, Chrissy. When is your big burlesque show? Please plug.
Okay, so the burlesque show is Thursday at 7:30, and I will put links for the tickets down in the chat. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be roughly 2 hours worth of burlesque. So,
Woo! Everyone check it out because, you know, you already see all this amazingness now. Now imagine it in a negligee. Moving on now. Okay. So
Sparkly negligee.
yeah. It's going to be so amazing. So before I introduce the next person, Sadie, you know what I'm looking for.
You want another dad joke?
I do.
Well, you know, I was talking to a meteorologist the other day, and he's making family plans for the holidays. He's very excited. He's particularly excited to see his anticyclone.
So good. So good. Thank you very much. And next up, we have the man with the hair who do not care. It is my good friend, Francis. How are you doing?
What up, y'all? How's it going?
Pretty good on this wonderful rainy day.
I know.
So before we hear your performance, I would love to know what is your favorite personal stormy weather story, either one that you've experienced yourself or in media?
Well, living in Southern California, you know, weather's not really a thing. Like it is, but it's not. So it's like having a weather story, it's kind of difficult. But I think like, especially like times like these, like Disneyland in the rain,
Yeah.
so underrated. You know, it's like because like but I'm a Disney freak and I go to Disneyland a lot, and it's like some people hate the rain, but like I actually love Disneyland in the rain because it's like it's all of a sudden it's not as crowded, you know, like everyone's so chill, you know, like no one's trying to get anywhere, you know, and like you could just and everything's slippery, so you could just slide in, you're just like ice skating.
You
and, like,
stop caring, like everything is sticking to you. You're soaking wet and you just go for it.
Yeah, and it's like there was a choir trip You know, it's like I think like that was like one of like my all-time favorite times at Disneyland, where it's like it was a choir trip. It was like junior year. We were there and it was raining, and it was like one of the like every single time I go to Disneyland, I try to recreate that magic of like being with the friends, you know, like just singing, and it's just like the rain was like that extra magical element. You know, it's like that Disneyland always has, you know, where it's magical because it's Disneyland, and then it's like you add the rain to it, it's just like, you know, I guess like pixie dust, or I don't know.
Well, you know, I have a theory on that. Like, I'm not so sure, you know, please still hire me, that the creators and worker, you know, the main people in charge of Disney are necessarily the ones filled with magic. I think it's the rest of us. When you believe in the dream enough, you bring the dream alive.
Yeah, the magic's only real if you believe in it.
It's true. It's true. Well, on that, what kind of magic do you have for us tonight?
Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, okay, like slow, sad songs or anything like that. So I think I'm going to I'm gonna do the slow song first, and then I'm gonna pick it up because it's like there's a lot of emotions right now. So like I'm gonna get the emotions out, and then we're gonna get happy, I guess, or like we're gonna pick up the tempo, I guess.
Bring it.
So the first song that I'm gonna do is it's Closer by Postmodern Jukebox. It's like actually the Chainsmokers, but I'm gonna sing the Postmodern Jukebox version of it. So here we go. Oh wait, hold on, just kidding. No, I'm gonna do this. I said I was gonna do the slow song first, right?
You did.
Okay, just kidding.
Promise.
Okay, no, so I'm gonna do the slow song first. And the slow song is Bruno Mars, It Will Rain. So if you ever leave me, baby, leave some muffin at my door. 'Cause it would take a whole lot of medication to realize what we used to have. We don't have it anymore. There's no religion that could save me. No matter how long my knees are on the floor. So keep in mind all the sacrifices I'm making. We'll keep you by my side. We'll keep you from walking out the door. 'Cause there'll be no sunlight if I lose you, baby. And there'll be no clear skies if I lose you, baby. And just like the clouds, my eyes will do the same. If you walk away, every day it'll rain, rain, rain. I'll never be your mother's favorite. Your daddy can't even look me in the eye. Oh, if I was in their shoes, I'd be doing the same thing. Saying, there goes my little girl, walking with that troublesome guy. But they're just afraid of something they can't understand. But little darling, watch me trees in my hands. Oh yeah, for you I'll try. I'll pick up these broken pieces till I'm bleeding, and then I'll make it right. 'Cause there'll be no clear skies. If I lose your baby, then there'll be no clear skies. If I lose your baby, it's just like the clouds, my eyes were all the same. If you walk away, every day it'll rain, rain, rain. Oh, don't just say goodbye. Don't just say goodbye. I'll pick up these broken pieces till I'm bleeding. If that'll make it right, 'cause there'll be no clear skies. If I lose your baby, there'll be no clear skies. If I lose your baby, and just like the clouds, my eyes will do the same. If you walk away, every day it'll rain, rain, rain.
You know, it's very confusing for me because I don't really like boys most of the time. It's not my thing. But some of y'all boys in this lovely, lovely group here, you give me some confusing feelings. It's very, very off-putting.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it.
Oh, Francis, you're such a delight. Do you have something else for us? Did you have an upbeat something? Your hair is so magnificent. I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, it's just like because like the hair is what makes it like
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. Now I'm gonna do like the up tempo song.
Yay!
Ooh, that was a lot of emotion.
Woo! We all felt it.
Yeah,
we were right there with you, babe.
But this one's a fun one. This one is Closer by the Chainsmokers, done by Postmodern Jukebox. And so like feel free to bop along and snap your fingers, sway side to side.
You know I will.
Hey, I was doing just fine before I met you. I drink too much and that's an issue, but it's okay. Hey, tell your friends it was nice to meet them, but I hope I never see them again. I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city in a broke down car and 4 years, no calls. Now you're looking pretty in a hotel bar, and I can't stop. Oh, I can't stop. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't never getting older. Ooh. We ain't never getting older. You looked as good as the day I met you. I forget just why I left you. I was insane. Stay play the Blink 182 song that we beat to death in Tucson. Okay. I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city in a broke down car and 4-year no call. Now you're looking pretty in the hotel bar and I can't stop. No, I can't stop. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't never getting older. 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 So big people, closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can afford. But that tattoo on your shoulder, pull the sheets right up the corner of that mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't never getting older. We ain't never getting older. Baby, pull me closer.
Wow, bring it. Oh, that was so good, Francis.
I try.
Vash approved, by the way. This is Vash approved. That's
Oh my
why
God.
I'm a little bit
Okay.
technologically impaired at the moment. Thank you for cheering us up after you gave us the feels. That was good.
Yeah, I try to pick everybody up, you know.
I know I needed that.
Yup.
Mhm.
So,
Simple
Oh, wait, hold
passive
on.
income business.
Oh gosh.
Sadie, before we do anything else, we have one more friend to introduce.
We do.
It is our friend with all the family, who usually comes with costumes and all
Oh
sorts.
my God. Yay. It's our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friend, Joel.
Hello, Joel.
Oh my God. I added you. We both added you and then you went
Try
away.
that again. Yes. Oh,
Oh my goodness. How are you, gorgeous Joel?
I'm fabulous. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. I'm so happy
what
that
you
you're
could say.
here. Do you have a personal anecdote about weather that you'd like to share with us?
Well, mine is more of a general anecdote. So I grew up in Idaho when I was a wee lad, and
Vash
I
does
just
not approve of Idaho. Look at that face.
America. Meh.
Anyway, go on.
So I just remember that feeling of the first snow, and not just the first snow, but the first one that would stick, because you would see it and you'd watch out the windows and you'd see the flurry coming down and you'd see it melting on the sidewalk, and you would just wait for that moment when one would build on top of the other before it fully melted, and you knew that the next morning you were going to wake up and you'd have snow to play in and you could make snowmen and all of that stuff. So I'm a lover of snow, even though I don't live in it currently.
I am also a lover of snow. Not everybody loves snow. And if you live in the city and you deal with snow, it's often filthy. Like, you really got to be out in the country a bit to enjoy the snow.
Right, that does make a big difference for sure.
Big time. Like, city snow, dirty snow.
Yeah.
No.
Don't
Fortunately-
touch that snow.
Fortunately, I live near a very robust park, so I can go there to enjoy the snow, even though I am mostly surrounded by disgusting gray slush when it does snow.
Robust Park is the name of my new brothel. And
Yes,
that's
it is.
it. Joel, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, I'm really excited because we have been trying to get our Thursday karaoke group to do standards for a while. And I heard this song today because, well, what else would I be doing today but getting Christmas going in my house? And we were playing Christmas music at breakfast, and I was like, that's such a great song. And then you wrote me and were like, you want to sing tonight? And I was like, oh, I've got a great idea. So here we go. A little I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. The snow is snowing and the wind it is blowing, but I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I cannot remember a worse December. Just watch those icicles form. What do I care if icicles form? I've got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my gloves. Who needs an overcoat? I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire and the flame grows higher, and so I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I thought you ought to know my heart's on fire. The flame, it just leaps higher. So I will weather the storm. Why do I care how much it storms? I've got my love to keep me warm. I've got my love to keep me warm.
Wow. Oh my goodness, Joel, that was amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll join us again every week. Oh my gosh.
I'm super happy my Sunday engagement moved to an earlier time, so I think that I can now.
Woo! Well, you are so fabulous and talented. We'd love to have you back. And now I do this accent. I don't know why I do this one, but this one.
It's freezing here now. Jeez Louise, what was I?
Well, that's somewhat true, but it is still California.
Right?
Well, before we go into our closing song, I have the fabulous, very long outro of which Sadie and I are going to edit at some point.
Wait. Do I have another song?
Oh my God, I just was going to interrupt you and not let you perform again. I am an ass.
That's totally fine.
Oh, look at me. I don't even know what I'm doing. There you go.
Who does? Nobody does these days. It's all right.
We were doing so well. It's
We're doing our best. It's all we can do.
Well, what else do you have for us tonight, Joel?
Okay, so I picked another song, and this one is going to be more of like the life's storms, right? All the stormy weather we go through in life, when we go through those dark times where we don't know if we're going to make it. And I first heard this song during one of those dark nights where, I'll say as a business owner, I was going through something very rough, and I had something that kept me up all night. And this Sia album saved me, but this song in particular reminded me just to keep breathing, and you get through it, and you get through it, and you're stronger than you were before. And given 2020, that thing in the past was nothing. So each thing that happens to us makes us stronger. So just imagine how much more alive we're all going to come out of 2020. So here we go. I was born in a thunderstorm. I grew up overnight. I played alone, I played on my own. I survived. Hey, I wanted everything I never had, like the love that comes with light. I wore envy and I hated that, but I survived. I had a one-way ticket to a place where all the demons go, where the wind don't change and nothing in the ground can ever grow. No hope, just lies, and you're taught to cry in your pillow, but I survived. I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. I found solace in the strangest place, way in the back of my mind. I saw my life in a stranger's face, and it was mine. I had a one-way ticket to a place where all the demons go, when the wind don't change and nothing in the ground can ever grow. No hope, just lies, and you're taught to cry in your pillow, but I survived. I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. You took it all, but I'm still breathing. 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 Every single mistake that you could ever possibly make, I took what you gave, but you never noticed that I was in pain. I knew what I wanted, I went out and got it, did all the things that you said that I wouldn't, told you that I would never be gotten, and all in spite of you. And I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive,
I feel all the feels. So I'm like, on one hand, I'm glad I got to hear you a second time. On the other hand, maybe I did not need to be so sad. No, it was amazing, Joel.
I take a note from Francis and end with the happy ones, but I'd already planned it.
No worries. In fact, all joking aside, one of the things that was said in the chat that I absolutely 100% agree with, the number of genres you can just nail and just sing anything. It's amazing. I want to be you.
Oh, thank you. I love music, and so I love all music.
Well, thank you. And seriously, you're welcome any week. And so is your family. I'm looking right now.
Yes, they're all here. Hello.
I love them so much. They're always so amazing. So they are welcome to support you here because we also feel that love and appreciate that. As artists, not everyone has a whole clan like that. And I say, good for you. You should have them. And they are welcome here as well because that only makes us feel good. So moving on now, I do the closure things and the stuff. Okay, so thank you for watching the Scintillating Showcase brought to you by Intervision Entertainment. To check out everything we do, visit our YouTube channel, My Aloha TV, where you can find even more recordings of Scintillating Showcase, as well as pet poetry, McGarfield, popular person problems, and scintillating stories. You can also find podcast recordings of Scintillating Stories on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. Please like, subscribe, and share the vision. No, seriously, share that vision. We want to be bigger. You can also help keep the art alive by becoming a visionary through Patreon, which is great because we still can't afford our tech. Look for the link in our chat. And if you're watching this on YouTube, check out the link below. And of course, join us next Sunday for another Scintillating Stories Live. We will be performing the first half of 9 Ways to Sunday, a fantastic play about friendship written by John McKinley. And I'll be posting that link in just a second. But before I do, Sadie, would you like to play us out?
Oh, well, I do believe I would. So earlier I made a little joke to your husband. Oh, I didn't tell a story.
Right, because we broke it up differently. So what about
It's okay.
What about you and the stormy night?
The stormy stories.
What, I don't know what I'm saying. Stormy.
It's all right. Who does? Honestly, at this point, we're just muddling through, and it's fine.
No, but seriously, what is your favorite stormy story?
My stormy story, I have a lot of them. Having lived my whole life in New York, we have some storms, and but I think my favorite one is I was at a theater program over a summer when I was 17. And for anyone who hasn't spent a summer on the East Coast or specifically in the Northeast, we get these crazy storms at night and it's awesome. It's actually just really fun. So
they're super loud.
They're loud and they're aggressive and it's crazy, but it is unbelievably exciting. There's something very, I don't know, magical about it. And so I was at this summer program doing theater when I was 17. And it was also the first summer that I fell absolutely madly head over heels, insane, in love with someone. So that was a big one. But I ended up the last night of the program, we were all kind of excited and we had just, finished everything. We were all going back home the next morning and we kind of didn't want it to end. And a few of us went out and streaked the campus in the rain.
That's hot.
It was great. It was just really, I don't know. There was something, it was fulfilling a bizarre sort of boho dream I don't think I knew I had. But I made a little
everyone
joke.
has to do something like that once.
Absolutely. Oh, highly recommend at least once. And ideally in a relatively safe environment like I was in. That was kind of the best part of that, is that I was among friends and, in an enclosed sort of condition. Anyway, so I made a little
Not
joke.
Trafalgar Square.
Not Trafalgar Square, not Central Park, not, middle of Sunset Boulevard, ideally.
Not that I would know any of those. Anyway.
But but I made a little joke to your husband earlier about being 150 on the inside. And the reason I make that joke is because I am also 150 on the inside. And part of that is apparent in my taste in music and musicals. Although I like a lot of different things, I really am, a lot of my favorites are things that are not even from my mother's generation, but from like my grandmother's generation.
Yeah.
And this definitely falls into that category. In fact, it may even predate my grandmother. So this is just one of my favorite songs from one of my favorite musical movies.
And
So.
before she presses play, this is a little reminder to anyone who performed or is in our audience. If you turn on your video and start dancing around, I will add you to the little montage we do.
Yeah, party time. All right, y'all ready for this? No. Okay. Singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I walk down the lane with a happy refrain, just singing in the rain. I'm dancing in the rain, da-dia, da-dia, da-dia. I'm happy again. I'm singing and dancing in the rain. Pretend I'm Gene Kelly. There we go. I'm dancing and singing in the rain. Yay!
And that's
Thank you
our
all for
show,
joining
everyone.
us.
Thank you for coming. Don't forget to spade and neuter your pets. Wear a mask if you're around germs and you're going to be around people. And for whatever you do, wherever you are, whatever year this is,
Wash your goddamn hands.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody.